Hi everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the Non-Native Leader, a video podcast series where we explore stories and lives and adventures of people who use English as their language, but they were not born in an English-speaking country. So if you followed the series, you saw we spoke to people in fintech, the art, politics, IT, different backgrounds and different stories. People who have one thing in common, as I said, they were not born in an English speaking country. I'm really excited today to have here with me Mely Lerman. Well, as usual, I'm not going to spoil it. He's going to tell us. Hi, Mely, you're very welcome
Hi,
here.
hi, Daniele.
Well,
How are you?
I am happy and I'm glad to have you here on my show because you have a lot
Thank
of
you.
experience, a lot of international experience,
Yeah.
and I'd love to, to dive deeper a bit into that. But first things first, let's start with the usual question. So, we know your name, but where are you and what do you do?
Okay. Let's start with what I'm doing. I am in software. For the last 60 years, I have been working with software, mainly with insurance companies. I am one of those guys that build those systems that are working for more than 40 years in the financial world. I I have been I am Brazilian.
Okay.
I I am Brazilian. I lived 50 years in Israel. I then 1 year in Portugal. Now I am in Spain, Madrid, Pozuelo de Alarcón. It's nearby Madrid for the last 4 years and something.
Wow. So,
My I have been traveling a lot for working in the world. I have been working in Brazil and Israel, of course, UK, Switzerland, China, República Dominicana, a lot of countries.
wow, truly
France,
international, Melly. Truly
yes, yes.
international.
I have been. My wife also, she worked all over she worked more in the United States. I worked more in Europe, and we always traveling together. So it is really, we
Wow.
traveled a lot, and I really liked it.
Yeah.
Today I'm mostly in Madrid, and I have a startup. So
Wow.
I'm working at home, not so many travel anymore, for at the time being at least, but it's okay.
Yeah. So you're kind of more relaxed at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
Yeah, but I think
exactly.
it's really fascinating. So from one side, the software world and the fact that you're working on, yeah, it's not really my field, but I learned this like mysterious language, COBOL, which everybody talks about, but nobody really knows, which is again really fascinating. And then the international experience, so this like traveling around and working in so many different countries. So I think your experience is invaluable, right? I am
Thank you.
declaring it now here and again.
Okay.
So where do we start? I don't know. Like, yeah, let's explore a little bit more maybe on the software side. So what you do. So you've been traveling a lot and now today you have a startup. So what is it about? Just in a few words so that we frame.
What I worked mostly in insurance, but I also worked in telecommunications. I In insurance, I have been, I built systems in special life insurance, also health insurance, but in special life insurance, end-to-end systems, huge, huge projects with hundreds of people. And in telecommunications, I helped. a company, Amdocs, an Israeli company in Israel. The headquarters was in the United States, but it's an international company. I helped them to establish themselves in Brazil, and also we worked with them in Germany and Israel. And it was a fantastic experience. But it's it's very interesting working with people from all over the world. In Amdocs, we had a very good experience with they were very preoccupied with the cultural gap between people. And I am Brazilian, and I lived in Israel, and there was a lot of teams, mixed teams of Israeli and Brazilians, and then after that in Germany. And so they did a lot of sessions of cultural gap. That's something that people are not really conscient, but the cultural gap, it's very important because to understand each other, you need to understand that there are differences between cultures, between Brazilians and Israelis, for example. They are both very open people, and it was very easy to understand each other. But then you get to things that Brazilians, for example, doesn't know how to say no. They always, they don't know how to say no. It's very difficult. And also, if you ask for references about people, they never will give you a negative reference. And so you need to understand those things, because without this, it's very difficult. German, there was some. They bought a company in Germany. Okay. Now, Germans, it's very difficult for them to decide something. It's I was interviewing a guy in Germany. It was one of my first interviews in Germany, and there was a question that the recruitment people wanted me to ask about how people confronts difficulties.
Sure.
So I asked the German guy, what if you had something, a difficulty in your life that you need to confront and to decide how to do and things like that, that you can tell me. It's not about sickness or something, but a difficult situation that you need to deal with it. The guy in Germany told me, yes, I needed to decide if I do the PhD or not. And for me, I thought the guy was joking with me, but no.
It was a genuine. It was a genuine.
Yes. In Brazil, you ask the same question. I used to ask the same question but everybody. No, never a difficult situation, never. And after some time, I would ask, have you been robbed sometime? Have you been assaulted sometime?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
4 times, 2 times. And then they will tell you stories. But every Brazilian went through things like that. And they will tell you things like, oh, the guy put a gun in my head, and then
Yeah.
things like
Talking about challenges, right? Talking about challenging
yeah.
situations, yeah, or difficulties. Yeah.
So and
Wow.
so for the German guy, the PhD thing was, and then for the Brazilians,
Who cares?
something like that.
But I think
It's
this is an interesting aspect. So, like, the exact same question shows how cultural differences are at play.
and it's very important in the work.
Yeah.
If you are working with teams, you need to understand the cultural gaps because otherwise
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
if you
absolutely.
want, I'll give you another example.
Yeah, I love these examples because they really show like
The,
the
the,
differences out
the
there. Yeah.
Israelis, they are very focused in the target. You see, the Brazilians, they don't have limits. The Israel is a very small country, and they live inside limits. The Brazilians are open and no front. So when you got to work with software, I need to bring Brazilians to Israel to understand the systems. The the Brazilians, they start from the top down. The Israelis are focused on the subject. So the Brazilian would ask the Israeli guy, uh, okay, but okay, I understood this, but here in this point, I don't understand how. No, it's not on our focus. It's not on our.
Yeah.
They could not understand the Brazilians trying to understand everything before going down, and
Yeah.
it's very interesting.
Absolutely.
And it's
So
important. It's an important thing to understand those things when you are traveling and working with teams.
yes, when working with international teams, you
Yeah.
have to be aware there are cultural differences because people sometimes only focus on the language, but it's not all. You need to understand the different ways of working, the different approaches
The
to the same
mentality
task.
was,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Which is interesting. And would you say like was it ever like challenging for you in your experience, this sort of what can we call it, like cultural clash?
Not very much. Not
Okay.
very much. Uh, no,
Yeah.
I am a very easy guy.
Yeah, but
And
that's another interesting point. Yeah, because I mean you are the living proof that obviously it can be done, but also that the fact that I suppose in a way the way
now,
you approach
at a
it.
certain point, I started to buy always when I travel to China or something. I always buy uh, those books that those thin books about the culture of the
Okay.
people. If you open any book of German, for example, this thing that the decision thinks of it's in the first paragraph always, and it's, things that you don't know and you need to know before you. In China, for example, it's very important how to you give the visit card
Oh yeah,
to a
of
Chinese
course.
guy and things like that.
And
And
so, like, was it, I suppose, yeah, another question that pops into my mind is like, is it more important to read things in a book or to actually live them and be there? So, in your experience, right? So, you say you obviously you bought these little books and they gave you some insight before going there. But then when you were actually in the country working with the people, so like was it the live experience more important for you?
Yeah, of course. Life experience is always more important. Things that once I asked a German woman what she voted in the last elections.
Okay.
And her husband didn't know what she voted. It's something privacy for. Okay, yeah, it challenges things. You ask that this privacy thing. It's for I am a Brazilian. Brazilian again are very open. They have nothing to. Privacy is not an important thing for a Brazilian, but for people like Americans, Germans, and things like that, it's very important. So you don't ask certain questions. A German, if you want to go to the home of a friend of yours, a very good friend in Germany, you call before 6 months before. It's not a
Yeah,
yeah,
don't make a surprise visit.
yeah. But
Yeah, I
I
suppose
have
all these little things, like they help you when you need to deal with people in
yeah.
different countries. So you start with social distance, the privacy, approach to privacy, the way
Did you
you
see
approach
did you
projects.
see Pulp Fiction?
Yes, of course.
Then there is a certain point that John Travolta explains that what is most important, it's the little differences. Do you remember this?
Yeah, of course I
Yeah,
do.
yeah. I, I was totally identified with this scene in the movie, the
Yeah,
little differences.
the little differences, yeah.
The
But when you're
ro-
there, they're not so little anymore because one little difference after the other, obviously, you need to
yeah,
be aware. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a fascinating aspect. Yeah, because sometimes we don't consider that. I mean, we are in a global world ultimately, and there
but
are some aspects that are common, are shared across countries, across cultures. But then again, when you travel a lot like you did, you understand that it's not exactly like that. So there are still differences. And I think it's the beauty of it, the fact that wherever you go, you see differences.
the French with the
Yeah,
tutu a year, yeah, that you need to talk with them. Vous avez, yeah.
yeah,
And then you need to ask for to start talking about tu, and
yes,
it's challenging. Yes, it's challenging.
it is.
If I
Yeah,
think, yeah, if I think a little bit, it's challenging. But it's not really problematic. It's something that you need to understand. You need to live with it. Not really problematic, but
yeah. And
very
I suppose,
interesting.
yeah, you say, okay, it is challenging, but it is not a problem. So this shows your, let's say, your current approach and the approach you have had probably in your life. But would you say there was a turning point for you? So when you said, okay, yes, it's the little differences, but then your approach changed to this. Was there a turning point, or maybe it was more like you had this approach from day one? I'm just curious again.
Yeah, it's a turning point. The main turning point, of course, is the moment that I left Brazil to Israel. I I went to Israel. I need to get out of Brazil because of the dictatorship. I was very involved in the movement there, and I was very active. Okay, so I need to leave Brazil. I went to Israel. It was easier for me because I am a Jew, and I went to Israel. I got to Israel. I didn't know Hebrew. I learned English and French and Latin in the school, but but in Brazil, you don't need those languages, you see.
Yeah.
And without practice, you don't. I got to Israel. I need to read. I need something. So I bought a Time and a Le Monde. It took me 2 weeks to read my one article in Time and almost a month to read an article in Le Monde. But after 2 months, 3 months, I was already reading Time and Le Monde without difficulty. And yeah, and I start also talking Hebrew. And the necessity does cause you to be very so.
Yeah. It helps you to learn fast, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I was in a group of people of my age, and it was there was a lot of Brazilians also, so it was not this difficult. You see, there. If I am a Brazilian, I told you about the Brazilians. We don't have difficulties in
Yeah,
life.
I,
It's
I I think you have a point there. Because you're talking about things that would be extremely challenging for everybody, like traveling around the world and meeting clients, going to a new country, moving into a new country when you're young, and learning new language and trying to use two more languages that you had already learned. So, I mean, people say, "Oh gosh, it's too much." And you're talking about these things with a
no,
smile on your
no.
face, saying, "Look,
Yeah.
not that hard when you want to do it, when you need to do it in a way." So I think that's amazing. Probably I don't know if there is this sort of Brazilian attitude that helps you, but I think it's a great approach where you go say, okay, I have to do it, I will do it, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
okay. It's I
No,
don't know, it's a fascinating approach. I think it's one that we can all learn from. Yeah, when we think about difficulties, when we think about challenges, you know.
yeah. But no, I think it's more a Latin thing than eh, Italians also. They don't have too much difficult. Uh, uh, Perhaps I have been in Salerno for 2 weeks to learn Italian,
Right.
and what I saw there is that there was a lot of unemployment in Salerno. And at the time, there was a lot of work in Milano, Torino, in the north of it. But it was very difficult for those guys in Salerno to leave the home of the mama and things like that. So it's also something that you need to understand. Those guys, it's very important for for the Italian, in Germany, people, I saw people traveling 2 hours to work,
Hmm.
2 hours, 4 hours a day
In
to
total,
work
wow.
to live in their home place.
So maybe the
The,
roots, the link with the
yeah,
roots with
they could not. For me, it was
yeah.
very easy to leave Brazil. Perhaps I left Brazil in a ship, so it took 18 days to get to Israel.
Wow.
Perhaps 18 days. In those 18 days, it helped me to confront the situation. But I really did don't. It was
Yeah,
It
a
was
proper
very easy.
journey.
In the first day in Israel, I already uh, felt at home, and also I left Israel to Portugal. It was very easy to adapt to Portugal. Okay, Portugal, I know the language and things like that. Also, coming to Spain, it was not difficult, and the only place that I had some difficulty it was. perhaps working in United States because they are very, I don't know how to say it, not friendly
Hmm.
in working in perhaps because I worked with those huge companies there. It was WorldCom. It was the biggest world telecom company in the world.
Okay.
They
Yeah,
so
so the impact with the corporate world
they they
was
they they don't
difficult.
in
Yeah.
Brazil. You drink the coffee and you have small talk and sit. You get to the United States. It's work, work, work. They don't have any personal contact or something like that.
Okay.
It was okay. It was not difficult, but it was very strange to work with the
Yeah.
Americans. I did not work with them too much,
But it
but
was something, yeah, something that challenged you in a way. So
yeah,
probably it was, yeah, probably the impact with the big corporate world. It was, I don't know, it was something, yeah, something new, something that could be shocking in a way.
but yeah, I don't know. You see, I think that it's very important also to know how to drink because with certain people you need to know how to drink. With the English, with the Chinese it was incredible. I didn't stop drinking. They have this white wine they call it. It's like tequila, but it's 75 degrees of alcohol.
Wow,
Yeah,
very
yeah,
strong.
yeah. And we went to China in a group. I was the oldest one. And the Chinese loves the old guys, and everybody needed to drink with me. It's always a person thinking me and you, Gambi, and you drink it like
Yeah, to drink it.
yeah.
Wow. Well, that's I don't know. It's
It's
really
very in England. In England, we went to we went. I was working a consultant for EDS at the time. We went to England to bring a package, an insurance package to Israel, and during the day they explained us the package. I explained them the life insurance in Israel and things like that. But I felt some kind of they were not really selling it or something. In the evening, we went to drink, and then when you drink, you, you start to talk about everything. And the problem was that they did not have the people to do the customization and things like that. I told them, no problem. We have 20 people, something like that, waiting to do this there in Israel. Oh, but only with the alcohol you could get to this point, you see.
yeah, when you relax a little, when you get into a more an easier situation, a more relaxed
Yeah.
one, then things get yeah, things get easier. I mean, it's truly fascinating, you know, like you can connect more with a drink or on a like sharing a meal, for example, than
Yeah.
spending hours and hours in a meeting room. Yes, that's great. That's invaluable, I think. So, Mely, thank you very much for sharing this. It's I don't know, it's precious advice, and I think that's one thing that I've learned is this kind of relaxed approach, easygoing.
Yeah.
You need to do it. You just do
Yeah,
it, you know.
it's very easy to get to there. You need only to be born in Brazil. So
We can all learn this approach, right? So easy, take it easy. I mean, you have to do it. You'll do it. You'll get there eventually. So absolutely, I agree with you. I think. it's also great takeaway for the listeners, right? So there is some things you need to do. Don't worry, take it easy and embrace differences, embrace challenges, but
Yes.
you will get there. And I believe it's precious advice, Belly. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. So, and everybody, thank you very much for listening, for sticking around. I think this was a precious conversation. I've learned a lot, and I'm surely going to worry a bit less about my challenges after this chat. Thanks again, Melly. It's been a pleasure.
Good.